This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FY Investment Group and your host of Washington Calling, where we interview leading voices from business, politics that impact you, the viewer. Today, we are fortunate to have a distinguished guest, and his name is Girish Narayanan. He's a founding partner and managing director of Granteq, which is a leader in the audio-visual technology. He also serves on many prominent boards, including PSNI Global Alliance and Infocom International. Welcome to our show. Thank you for coming, uh, Mr. Narayanan. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and it's a great pleasure to connect with you, Frank. And I look forward to talking to you today.
Okay, wonderful. As we understand, you and your brother Rajesh are the two innovative entrepreneurs whose names are recognized not only in UAE but in the whole Middle Eastern country and India as well. So please tell us, for our global audience, who you are and your work. As I understand, you started your company in Dubai in 2013, and also shed some bright light. Why did you choose Dubai? And what made you come to Dubai to start your business? So I'm asking too many questions, Grace. Welcome.
Yeah, excellent. With pleasure, Frank. It's a delight for me to join you here. So, like any other Indian, I was always looking for greener pastures, and I arrived into this country in 1992. And that was a time when Dubai was promising a lot more activities, and the country was bubbling with a lot of positive energy. Of course, I came here initially to support the family, to take care of everything, and that's how I landed up in this country. And I worked for a couple of companies, and I was fortunate enough to have very good bosses who gave me much better insights into the businesses and the way the business is operated. So there's really nothing that I haven't done as far as a process is concerned. From starting up to clearing the goods, to delivering them, to invoicing them, and even going out meeting customers and sort of selling the solutions. So yeah, so in 1992 is when I arrived, and then I worked for a couple of entities who were predominantly into the audio visual systems and solutions. However, I always wanted to own something, just following and trying to follow my father's footsteps, whom I thought was a little bit advanced, and he was way ahead of time. He was bringing in a lot of technology in terms of radio and stuff like that. Not more so in terms of money, but he was successful in innovating a lot of things. So keeping that in mind, I always wanted to have something of my own, and that's how I really started to push forward. So in way back in 2004, I decided to sort of launch myself, and that's when I started the company. It was a two-man organization at that time, predominantly focusing on the collaboration, unified communication, and the audiovisual systems integration. Um, However, my drive was always entrepreneurial. I wanted somebody to be really supporting me, and that's when I really pushed my brother Rajesh to come and join me. Who was hesitant initially because he was almost being given a CEO's position in his company. It was hard for me to get him in because I knew his talents, and I knew that he would add a lot of value to what I would be doing. So
Right.
Rajesh came on board and then started the whole processes. He put processes in place. He put team building in place, because I strongly believe that any business that you want to drive, you need to have a very very solid team that backs you up, right? So that's something that Rajesh put
Absolutely right.
together. Yeah. So today, he has put the whole processes in place. Starting from an ERP system to all the management that goes in, so you get to see nice dashboards of where we are and what we are doing, and things like that, right? And together with Sandeep and Neeraj, we become like four pillars of an organization that we really drive with clear roles and responsibilities. So thereby, we moved on into bringing a lot of solutions that enhance the human interactions, because I believe
Very well
that
said.
communication, yeah, I know, I believe that communication is a major key. You're I've been part of many workshops where there are 15 people sitting, and you say something to person one, and by the time it comes to person number 15, the communication is lost, right? So that is something that we wanted to keep, so that unified collaboration and the ability to collaborate from a distance. Teams are spread across the globe. That's where we came in and started to change things for our customers.
But
Yeah.
tell us, Girish, the factors behind your success. I know you work hard, you aim high, and you pursue your dream. And would you also say that the United Arab Emirates has provided you the latest of opportunities to succeed, that you have not gotten that opportunity in India, because it's a society that caters to inclusiveness and openness that in some cases does not exist in India right now under this government. So shine your bright light. What's the secret sauce for your success?
Yeah. So I would credit the leaders of this country, who are visionary, who are extremely forward looking, and you're absolutely right. The inclusiveness, and in the past year they have driven something called the year of tolerance, and the
Correct.
year of inclusiveness. All this has benefited, tremendously. Uh, the biggest aspect is the ease of doing business is tremendously high within the United Arab Emirates. Think of me as an expatriate coming to start something on. You could really go across the counter, sit down with them. What is the trade that you're trying to do, and you launch a company, and everything then falls into place. So there's less and less of bureaucracy. Everything is automated. These guys have really taken full advantage of that whole software implementation and things like that. I would simply go back. When I initially came into the country in 1992, it took me like a couple of hours to clear the immigration. Today, it takes me less than 3 minutes. So I walk in and I snap my card, and you can just walk out of the immigration. Uh, these are things that the leaders have envisioned, and they have actually put this in place. So when you compare them today with India, I think India really needs to learn a lot more in terms of how the business is set up and what is the method that they need to use to drive ease of business. Especially with the new things like startup India and all that, which is being put together. You need to cut the bureaucracy. You need to allow very young minds who are out there. And I believe there's a very rock solid talent out there who are innovative, who are good in what they do, and they should be able to drive much more in a subcontinent place like India, right?
Very well said.
Um,
As you probably know, that I have a success story just like your own, and my success story is because America has provided me the opportunity to succeed because inclusive and open society, and these are the values and strength and qualities of America, just like UAE, we can proudly and truly embrace. Obviously, and this government in India, they're filled with hatred and bigotry, and all they do is tell everybody else that the Hindu nationalist and is a very challenging environment in India to start a business and to grow the business, to prosper the business, when the people are not willing to work together. When you're together, you can help shape a better future, and you're stronger, better, and and prosper. So tell us a little bit. Would you agree with me, Girish? What I just said?
yeah. Um, Honestly, I've been so focused on business that I've been far away from the political scenario. But I do get what you're trying to say, and I believe this whole change is taking place, which will definitely drive things for the better. And I'm really hoping for that.
So we look at the brighter horizon when we endure the storm.
Yeah.
So your success story reminds us that you're uniquely blessed, and What will be your advice to the young and budding entrepreneurs who wants to follow in your footsteps and be and have you as a role models? Can you tell us, our audience, a little bit about what will be your advice?
Yeah, so there is no substitution to hard work and honesty in what you do in life. I think that would be the stepping stone for any budding entrepreneur. Uh, and coming from a subcontinent like India, which is naturally uh, very respectful, there's a lot of commitment and passion that we drive with, along with the integrity. I think these are some of the elements that actually constitute towards a success. I would simply say, uh, do not go after the money. Money is very, very important. However, what you do on an everyday basis, which is driving your passion, doing things in the right manner, doing things with solid honesty and integrity, will derive the happiness ultimately that you need, and it will get you what you want as at the end of the day. So my advice to budding entrepreneurs is to keep absolute sincerity and honesty in what they do in life.
And you said it very well. I would also add, if I may, uh, uh, exploit your fullest potential and also
Hmm.
be a lifelong learner. Learn something new every day and chart your own
Yeah,
course, and that will be and make your own journey. My journey, your journey is different. So is the journey of the Stephen Jobs and rest of the people. Make it your own journey. And when you're successful, make other people to be successful as well. Would you agree with me what I
absolutely.
just said?
Oh,
Very.
absolutely. There is no second thought on that.
Thank you very much, Grace. Uh, Tell us a little bit about your work you're doing in India in the fields of education. What initiative you have taken and where you're going, and do you also do any kind of initiative in UAE as well? Because UAE provided you the opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. Education, for me personally, I believe is a very, very interesting market, because today, what we do in India is more and more of higher education, which is building big audiovisual environment and collaboration systems for large business schools, business studies, and stuff like that. But I personally believe that it is the primary and secondary education that really needs the attention, because that is where your whole career and your whole thought process is built. And so, definitely, we do a lot of that in the UAE. We have something called a STEM stream kind of education that we provide,
Hmm.
which is science, technology, engineering, robotics, and mathematics. Uh, Today we provide this into schools and colleges. Virtual reality, artificial intelligence, these are all combined into these kind of learning environments. We even have created a complete virtual reality classroom. You should see the kids, how excited they are when they get into that kind of a scenario, where they see a 360-degree of content that plays out. So for example, if you want to learn about Egypt, you walk into the room and you press a button, and everything around you is turning into Egypt with immersive technologies that then teaches you, what are these kind of pyramids, when were they built, how did they build it, and what was the surroundings that they had. This gives a complete insight of the ability to learn, for a student. It's almost like teleporting yourself into an Egyptian pyramid, and then trying to learn about it along with the technology, which is both audio and visual. So at the end of the day, what the student gets is the power of retention, because it's just not only text or books and pictures. It is a complete multimedia technology that gives you the commentary from an audio perspective, the video perspective, the visual perspective, and the whole immersive learning. I believe that children of today really need that, kind of learning environment, because the gadgets and things like that they use today are far ahead of times, right? So if you need to get them excited, if you need to get them active, and they need to participate, it is just not the old technique of the teacher is lecturing and everybody is sitting and listening. Now what we are talking about is engagement, how the student engages with the learning content, what are the questions that the students are posing, and how the teacher is able to address that. So today, according to me, the teachers also have to keep up to the speed of technology, right? Because the
Right.
students are expecting that. Now, the students who are at home, they have 4K content, they have 8K content, they have high-end graphics that they, play with on their computers, on their TVs. When they come into classrooms, and if you just give them textbooks and something like that, they don't get excited anymore. So you need to have a complete multimedia technology. That's what we provide today to the UAE classrooms. We have implemented these technologies here, and we are getting very, very positive results out of this.
Wonderful. So, you said it very well. Education is the gift that keeps on giving, right?
Yeah,
It empowers the
absolutely.
mind and uplifts the soul. As President Obama, a
Yeah,
friend of mine, said, education will be the currency of the 21st century.
yeah.
But uh, what do you think about the STEM education which is happening in UAE and India? How do you relate to those two things? And after that, you finish with it. Then I want to talk about the artificial intelligence and how do you incorporate the artificial intelligence in your work in teaching platform.
Okay. So the STEM-based education today enables children to understand the process, right? So it could be, for example, if you're getting into a primary education, you could teach the children about a cookie. What the child gets is a cookie, and with the cookie, you need to. Today, you have the ability with STEM labs that we can build, where we can actually teach the student how a cookie factory operates, right? So now the student is excited. Oh, this is the cookie that I eat every day. Well, I need to know how this is being manufactured, right? So you start from the ingredient process, and all this is based on a very, very basic level. So this enables the students to get excited about manufacturing, about production, understanding the processes and what it takes, from an ingredient mixture to the production to the final packaging and the logistics and final delivery out in the market. So this is how a student is able to understand this. This, I personally believe, that will give them a lot more leeway and understanding in depth into what is happening within the technology area for production, right? So this is one example. Now this same can be applied for manufacturing of cars, manufacturing of aerospace, manufacturing of many other things, which is out there. So you are now producing children. So when I went to school, what I was taught was using a blackboard and a chalk, right?
Right,
Today it's
right.
yeah, it it has changed dramatically, and I believe that somebody said me there's a great technology in the classroom. There's a large wooden board with a white chalk. You can write and you can see everything. And everybody used to sit and copy that on your notebook, right? So today
Right.
everything turns digital. Everything has turned digital.
Digital.
So your power of retention is amazing. So you can review the whole lesson. The whole thing can be recorded. And I can come back home using my computer, can view the whole class today of what the teacher said for 45 minutes, and I can grasp further and get a much more better knowledge into this. So these kind of technologies today enable and empower the students to have a much better education.
Very well said, Gracia. And you're not only empowering the mind, but also making sure they understand that this is the future, and that's what we have to do in order to produce this next generations who have a strength and courage to carry on. Let me before we close our conversation, I want to you're blessed and uh, can you tell us a little bit about some of the philanthropic engagement you have in India around the world? As you probably know, as President Kennedy once said, to whom much is given, much is expected. Tell us a little bit about your philanthropic engagement in around the globe, and why philanthropic is important as far as you're concerned or your family is concerned.
Yeah, so there's on my personal level, I do a lot of stuff for the people around the streets that I have grown up in a small little town in south of India. But from an organization perspective, uh, we actually provide equal employment opportunities. In fact, we were awarded the best woman employment provider in the state of Karnataka, right? So we
Wow.
empower people. Yeah, we were really awarded one of the best employers of women, and we truly believe in providing equal opportunities, and we don't think that there should be a gender discrimination in any of these things, right? Now, in terms of philanthropy, we provide. Uh, Multimedia projectors and things like that to the classrooms that enable for teaching. Recently, we have donated uh, display units and multimedia projectors to a yoga center within Bangalore that actually teaches students about meditation and about concentration. Why do I think this is important today? Is because unlike unlike the times that I grew up, today everything is so dynamic. The information flows through your fingertips every millisecond. You're updated with all the information. And what we truly believe is that we need students to come and focus, and they should be able to sort of meditate and get the focus back into this. So these are some of the initiatives that we do. Apart from this, we also engage uh, our internal staff and all that to train into these kind of focusing environment like yoga, meditation, health, and wellness. This is something that we do on a regular basis.
So you're making a difference. You're trying to make a difference in people's lives, correct? Because that is
Absolutely,
an
yes.
important aspect of your philanthropic engagement is. Well, thank you for all you do, and thank you for coming to our show. This is Frank Islam wishing you a great week. Thank you for watching.